If I were white, I could capture the world. This is one of the quotes from one of the greatest inspirations to me that has ever walked this earth, and her name is Dorothy Dandridge. Now this is a picture of her. She is very beautiful, and what we may perceive of others, we really don't know, especially celebrities. In this case, is Dorothy Dandridge. Today I will give a brief preview of the life and achievements of Dorothy Dandridge. She was such a phenomenal woman. She went places that no one thought she would go, especially back in her time frame, back in the 1950s. So she is such an inspiration toward a lot of people, and I'm so honored to be here talking about her today. So here goes. Dorothy was born on November the 9th, 1922 in Cleveland, Ohio. In the early 1930s, Dorothy and her family moved to LA in search of stardom and fame. And they first found success with her musical group, the trio, the Dandridge Sisters. They performed in such places such as the Cotton Club in New York City and other places throughout the United States. Shortly after, the group split up for personal reasons, and Dorothy decided to concentrate on her personal life. So she got married in the early 1940s, and she had one daughter. Her daughter's name was Carolyn, but her marriage really didn't last long, so she got divorced in the late 1940s. After her divorce, she decided to go along and finish her career. So in the early 1950s, she did movie roles such as The Bright Road and the Harlem Globetrotters. Around this time, you got to realize that in Hollywood in the 1950s, for a black person to even try to get a role, it was very hard to come by. And there weren't a lot of roles for black Americans back in those days. So if you found the role, you were truly blessed. You were really blessed. So moving on, in 1954, Dorothy, she got the lead role of Carmen Jones, and she was nominated for Best Actress. Such a high achievement for a woman like her back in those days. She shocked everyone, and it definitely escalated her up to stardom. But however, she lost to Grace Kelly, and Grace Kelly role as the country girl. Yeah, Grace Kelly did a great job. I watched the movie myself, but yes, Dorothy, she lost to Grace Kelly, and it's okay. Her next movie role came in The King and I, where Dorothy was supposed to play a slave girl, but of course she didn't want the role because she did not want to play a slave, a so-called stereotype back in those days. And by her not accepting that role, she really put herself in a predicament where the roles are already less for black actors in Hollywood. She refused the role, and of course her downfall began there, and she recognized it later on in life, but by then of course it was too late. The role eventually went to Rita Moreno, and it was such a huge successful movie, and of course Dorothy did have her doubts, and she did wish she could have appeared in the movie. Her last movie was Malenga, made in 1960. Back in 1959, she got married again to Jack Dennison, and they did not have a great marriage. It was full of domestic violence and financial woes. So they got divorced in 1962. And you can imagine her around this time. She's already devastated that she rejected a role, a great role, and she got a divorce, and she lost basically all of her money. So Dorothy decided she started drinking heavily and started taking sleeping pills, and by her life going downhill, it not only happens to celebrities. I know it happens to everyone, but of course their lives be on greater display because of the news and TV life. But you know, she also suffered a nervous breakdown. Um, but starting back in in early 1965, her manager came back to help revive Dorothy's career. But of course, it was too late because she was still dependent on alcohol and pills. She lost her life. She died on September the 5th, September the 8th, 1965 in Los Angeles. And she still remains one of the greatest black actresses of all time. A lot of people look up to her, including the actress Halle Berry. You know, Halle Berry portrayed her in the 1999 movie Introducing Dorothy Dandridge. As we all know, back in 2002, Halle Berry won the Best Actress for Oscar back in 2002. So congratulations, Halle Berry, because of course Halle Berry, she looked up to Dorothy as well as an inspiration, as guidance, and so proud of her, so proud of Halle. But you know, Dorothy still remains a great figure. She still remains a great figure to a lot of young women, including myself. And she was such a beautiful woman. I wished her life could have turned out for the better, but of course it didn't. And she still remains a great performer to everyone. And again, everyone looks up to her. So if you ever have the time to watch one of her movies or look her up on the internet, do so. She's very beautiful. You'll love her talent. I hope you guys learned something today about this wonderful woman. And you guys take care. Happy Thanksgiving.